Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Exchange. Today is November 18th, 2025, and here is the news that you can use. We are waking up to a landscape defined by stricter boundaries today. From the National Institute of Standards and Technology putting a leash on autonomous AI agents, to the European Union beginning the heavy lifting of enforcing Phase 2 of their AI Act, the theme of the day is governance with teeth. But it is not all red tape. We are also seeing major breakthroughs in how the Department of War handles edge computing and a lifeline from Microsoft for companies terrified of IP leakage. Let's get into the details. We begin in Washington, where NIST has officially released Special Publication 800 TAC 219. This is the long-awaited guidance on AI agent safety, and it changes the game for anyone deploying autonomous systems. Unlike previous guidelines that focused on generative text, 800 TAC 219 focuses on agents that can take action, like executing code or moving money. The core requirement here is a mandatory human-in-the-loop kill switch for any agent operating in federal supply chains. For the C-suite, this isn't just a technical spec, it is a liability shield. If your organization is deploying agentic workflows, you need to audit them against this standard immediately to ensure you aren't cut out of future government contracts. Staying with federal mandates, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, has dropped the hammer on legacy encryption. They have issued Binding Operational Directive, or BOD, 26 TAC 01. This directive mandates that all federal civilian executive branch agencies must inventory and begin retiring any encryption protocols that are not quantum resistant by the second quarter of 2026. This aligns with the recent standardization of FIPS 203 and FIPS 204. Why does this matter to the private sector? Because where the federal government goes, the regulatory environment follows. We are officially on the clock for the Y2Q migration. If you haven't started your cryptographic agility roadmap, you are already behind. Shifting our focus to the battlefield, which is often the proving ground for enterprise technology, the Department of War has announced a major milestone. They have achieved initial operational capability for their JADC2 cloud integration. JADC2 stands for Joint All-Domain Command and Control. What makes this significant for the enterprise CIO is the architecture. They successfully synchronize data across 3 different commercial cloud vendors in a disconnected tactical edge environment. This proves that multi-cloud edge computing is no longer just a whiteboard concept, it is operational. For industries like logistics, mining, and energy, this Department of War success story offers a blueprint for managing data when your connectivity is intermittent or non-existent. In the commercial sector, we have a massive development from Microsoft and OpenAI. They have jointly announced Enterprise Neural Shield. This is a new infrastructure layer for Azure customers that guarantees zero data retention for prompt inputs and outputs when using GPT-6 class models. For the last 2 years, the biggest blocker to Gen AI adoption in finance, pharma, and legal sectors has been the fear of IP leakage, the worry that your proprietary data trains the model. Neural Shield appears to solve this technically and contractually. If your board has been blocking AI pilots due to privacy concerns, this announcement is the green light to revisit those decisions. However, not all news from the government is positive. The Government Accountability Office, or GAO, has released Report GAO 26 TAC 014, and it is scathing. The report finds that 40% of federal agencies have missed their 2025 deadlines for full zero-trust architecture implementation. The primary culprits? Massive legacy technical debt and the sheer complexity of modernizing identity and access management. For the private sector CIO, this report is a powerful tool. You can use this data to justify your own budget requests for identity modernization. It shows clearly that zero trust is not a buy-it-and-forget-it solution. It is a multi-year slog that requires sustained funding. Finally, looking across the Atlantic, today marks the start of Phase 2 enforcement for the EU AI Act. As of this morning, mandatory third-party conformity assessments are required for all high-risk AI systems deployed in the Eurozone. This includes AI used in critical infrastructure, employment screening, and credit scoring. The grace period is over. Companies found non-compliant now face fines up to 7% of their global annual turnover. If you have operations in Europe, your legal and compliance team should be conducting an immediate audit to ensure your documentation is ready for inspection. That's the exchange for today. Remember, inspect what you expect. If you are interested in how this newscast is created or want more information about how to be a part of it, contact podcasts@metorasolutions.com. That's podcasts with an S at metorasolutions.com.